Thank you. All right, now roll call, please.
Mr. Bartlett.
Here.
Mr. Fowler.
Present.
Ms. Owens.
Here.
Here. Mr. Stanley.
Here. Next item on our agenda is approval of an agenda and minutes from the 27th, 2021 meeting. I need a motion and a second, followed by discussion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Fowler,
Second.
seconded by Mrs. Pierce. I would make a recommendation for the agenda today of that the executive session number 11 be moved to immediately after the financial report, and that we add addendum items 10A, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, all to new business. Any discussion?
Was that basically everything in the,
Everything
Added?
except executive session, yes.
okay.
Hearing no further discussion, roll call, please.
Mr. Bartlett.
Yes.
Mr. Fowler.
Yes.
Ms. Owens.
Yes.
Ms. Pierce. Yes. Mr. Stanley.
Yes. Public participation, as usual, we'll keep moving forward there. And number 5, the financial report, need a motion and a second to approve those items. And we'll have discussion after we have the motion.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Pierce and seconded by Mr. Fowler. Laura?
So first I'll apologize because it appears that the cash summary in the board packet is not the correct one. It is that's the one for April. No,
Did it get titled wrong?
it's. There's something, that's what Courtney's gonna go see for me. Yeah, this is as no, then what, something is wrong here. I apologize. Courtney's double checking it for me, so we may have to come back to that. Not sure. That's the something wrong there. I apologize. Give me a second on the cash summary report. What's wrong here? Just one of these numbers were correct. You know what, it may just be the total.
Oh, she just gave you one, okay.
No, that's all right.
I apologize. Courtney is double checking it for me, but it may just be that my grand total is incorrect. It's the grand total. She's reprinting it. Okay. No unusual expenditures this month, or actually, you know, it would have been in April. The appropriation adjustments primarily consisted of, let's see here, adjustment for navigators. Those are of course all reimbursed by 33 Alliance. And then the education associates adjusting this budgeted salary, Medicare and STRS. Again, those are all through those pass-through contracts that we, they pay entirely for themselves. And then we received an additional $10,000 in OTES 2.0 funding that got budgeted. Next month's adjustments will be what I call the set bow. So as an ESD at the June ends, I set the budget to the actual expenditures, or the many benefits of being an ESD. And so you'll see, I'll be able to clearly show you what the initial appropriations were versus the final actual expenditures at the end of June. So unfortunately, the way that has to happen, it won't go out with the board packet the week before. I'll have to bring it with me to the board meeting because some districts stop all activity like 2 weeks through June. Being an ESC, and I know the former treasurer used to, I don't know how. You can see that whole addendum happened within 1 week or less. Like, we do so much in such, in every period of time around here. So I'll be running up to that board meeting basically to do the set bow and finish out the year. And also the next meeting, I plan to have the school year 2022 initial budget at the next meeting. So it's gonna be continue to be a busy month. We have all the contracts ready to send out today. And the non-renews. It's been a very, very busy, like probably
The whole year.
the whole year is exhausting. But in regards to the grants, the ESSER and OSER funds got funded again at the end of April. But of course, we still had those expenditures that they funded were from February. So they're still 2 months behind on reimbursing us. So you're gonna see those negatives for a little bit. And then the OTES 2.0 funding, like I said, we just got funded for that. So I just haven't had a chance to request the funding yet for that. Is it different?
They look a little different. I mean, except for the appropriation adjustment.
I apologize. I'm looking at it and I'm starting to think that just my total is, that's the disbursement summary. I apologize, everyone, I do. Where's the cash?
Oh, the first one looked exactly the same.
It looked exactly the
Yeah.
same. I think my totals are just, let me do some stuff really quick. Sorry, I need to unlock my phone. I apologize.
Do you want me to talk about the 2 grants we just got?
Yeah.
While she's doing that, let me give you a quick update. I know you've heard about the flow of a lot of different funds coming out. We've worked on trying with the Ohio Department of Education and with OESCA to try to advocate for additional supports because we did not receive any CARES Act money in the same way that districts did. So we have been notified that we will receive $175,000 of American Recovery funding to help districts implement their plans that they were required to put in place for the gap closure activities related to COVID. Courtney has pulled all of the district plans. We have 2 districts that didn't submit plans. But it is what it is. We will be sitting down as a team looking at what they have identified, and I have on the superintendent's calls asked them to notify me if there are any particular priorities they have. But we will glean from that supports that we can put in place to help the system in that process. Now that money is good and can be used over the course of 2 years. So there's no rush to use it right now. We want to be thoughtful in how we're using those funds. The second is that yesterday we were notified that we're getting in the ballpark of $183,000 in Gear 2 money. So that fund has fewer strings attached to it and really falls under, could be anything allowable under the original Gear grant that we received. So that's pretty wide open in terms of anything we can justify in terms of supports that we need to help districts and support the ESC. And then third, the Owens or EANS funds. The EANS funds are funds that came from the CARES Act in essence, the federal dollars that was allocated to private schools. Okay, And ESCs were asked if they would be willing to administer those funds on behalf of the private schools, because private schools cannot legally receive those funds. And so our ESC has responded that we will support the 4 private schools in Fairfield County that are receiving funds. And we actually have the capacity to help some outside of the county. And we're not there yet in terms of whether we'll pick up maybe Groveport area schools or Canal Winchester area schools, but we're working through that process. We will realize a 4% administrative fee, and we have the latitude to work with districts on directing them for the purchase of services through the ESC to support district initiatives. So for example, if they wanted to do PDL training, we could actually work with them on a plan of service delivery, basically paying ourselves for.
And just to clarify this grant, like the more I've learned about it, essentially what happened was ODE did not have the capacity to administer these grants, so they were passing it off onto us. We are fronting all the money. So like we make the purchases on behalf of the non-pubs and then request reimbursement. So there is a huge lift on our part.
Yeah.
They also are leaving it to us. They didn't have enough time so the non-pubs submitted plans. They didn't have enough time to tell the non-pubs whether or not those were allowable expenditures. They're putting it on us, the ESCs, to help direct the non-pubs and saying, yes, you can spend this, no, you can't, with our names on the line. So they originally tried to give us no fiscal fee for this. You know,
And no agreement.
and no
So we've
agreement.
advocated at the state level, there is now a template for what that MOU looks like, so that there's common understanding
Yeah.
between ESCs and the private. So
Yeah.
those weekly meetings that we've had with OESCA and ODE have been critical in terms of shaping all of this. But I do think it's an opportunity for us to build relationships and to sell some additional services. If they're gonna buy from somebody, I'd rather they buy from us. So we still don't have all of the details. It's been a pretty slow moving process because they're sort of building it as they're flying. And at ODE, there are a lot of policy people who have never actually worked in a district or understand how you fiscally manage anything or programmatically manage anything. So it's been an interesting process. I just appreciate that they've been listening. So it's all good.
On the cash summary, all the dollar amounts are correct except total all funds. I apologize. I apparently didn't update that. It'd be 5,135,370.13. Otherwise,
Say that
every
again.
5,135, comma 370.13. Okay, so it now ties to the cash summary. I apologize. I just one set of numbers. That's all I got.
Any questions regarding the financial report?
Okay, so here we are in May. So in the June meeting, so the things you're reporting for the end of June, will they be at the June meeting or the July meeting?
I'll be able to, the June meeting's so late, I should be able to step out and give you guys the final budget at the June meeting and the initial 2022 budget.
Oh,
It's really like 4 days before the end of the.
Right. I can cut things off that.
It's the 29th, is the.
So rather than cutting it off 2 weeks before, it'll be just a few days before.
But I know sometimes I don't give you the final of the prior year until July of the next school year, but I should be able to work that. Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the 22nd. Yeah,
Oh.
I should still be able to shut it down.
Didn't I just do it for July? I mean, there's nothing that
This
is
22nd.
urgent that,
Okay.
and then you have time to get it right. You know what I mean? To get
Oh,
that.
that's the final FY21, so there's nothing. All right, so I apologize. Let's change this. At the June 22nd meeting, I will have the initial budget for FY '22, and at the July 27th meeting, I'll have the final budget FY '21.
That makes sense to everyone? Makes sense?
Meeting.
Said that though, because I'd written it down, it was 29th, and I didn't realize the first was a Tuesday.
Right.
Any other questions for Laura in regards to financial reports? Gary,
Nope.
Ron?
No.
Mary? If we could have a roll call, please.
If I might say, I really love that 18-cent adjustment in the appropriations. I just thought, okay, now that's thorough.
All right. Roll call.
Please.
Mr. Bartlett,
Yes.
Mr. Fowler,
Yes.
Ms. Owens,
Yes,
Ms. Pierce,
Yes.
Mr. Simmons.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is to go into executive session. Executive session would be to discuss employment of a public employee and/or benefits compensation. I need a motion and a second to go into executive session.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Bartlett,
Second.
second by Mr. Fowler.
Time you noting?
Any discussion?
8:48 a.m.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Bartlett,
Yes.
Mr. Fowler,
Yes.
Ms. Owens,
yes.